We all want to read more in 2026, so here are 6 tips to help you do just that. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, welcome to my Friday book chat where we chat all things books and reading. Today is going to be a fun one because we are going to be talking about 6 tips to help you read more in 2026, and since it's currently January, this is going to be a bit of a winter edition. So let's get right into those tips. The first tip is something that I've been doing for a while, and I feel like it's something that has definitely helped me to add more reading into my life, and that is reading in the morning. So one of the first things I do when I wake up is I read. Now, I'm someone who, if I read a fiction book in the morning, it's very likely that I will get bogged down and I will have a hard time stopping. So to make sure that that doesn't happen and that I can actually move on with my day, I tend to read either a non-fiction book in the morning or I read some poetry in the morning. Something that I can easily sit down and read for 5 to 10 minutes. Even if I only have 2 minutes, I can sit down and I can read for 2 minutes and then I can put it down and I can continue on with my day. But I'm kind of starting off the day with a good mindset. I feel like for me, this has really helped me to not pick up my phone first thing in the morning. So many of us pick up our phone and go on social media or start checking emails and stuff right away. And instead of doing that, I go and I pick up my book first thing in the morning. And that ensures that I not only start my day in a strong way, but it also means I get more reading into my life because I literally get reading in first thing in the morning. Tip number 2 to help you read more in 2026 is to read several books at once. Now, I know some people struggle with reading several books at once, so I will give you the tips that helped me be able to do this. One of them actually is a little bit from the first category, and that is that I read different genres. So I'll be reading a non-fiction or a poetry book at the same time that I'm reading my fiction books. But a further extension of that would be reading like a romance book and a thriller at the same time. So this for me, since they are different genres, I can compartmentalize them in my brain and I can picture them as different storylines. So kind of think of it as like taking different classes in school or watching different TV shows. So you might only get an episode each week. So it's the same thing as a book. You pick up and you read a couple chapters of this book and it's like you get one episode, and then you go to another book and it's like you're getting an episode of that book. So reading several different books at once really helps me read more because when I'm not in the mood to read something specific, I can go to the other book I'm reading and I'll read that, and it's pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to be in the mood to read one of the books I'm reading. Additionally, I feel like there's always going to be one of the books on my mind, so I'm always going to be wanting to read one of them, which encourages me to read more. Tip number 3 is something that I've actually recently found has helped me out a lot with reading more, and that is to always carry a book with you. Now, you might hate the idea of this because you're like, why would I want to carry something like this all the time? Like, if I'm going out, I'm not going to carry a book with me. But there's easy ways around that. One would be get a Kindle, and you can easily fit a Kindle more in like a pocket or a purse or a bag, something like that. Or even more convenient is to use your phone. So I have the Kindle app on my phone, which means I can read wherever I am as long as I have my phone with me. So I always have a book with me and I'm basically always reading some kind of book on my Kindle. So if I'm in a waiting room waiting, or if I'm at a restaurant, or if I'm in the park, anywhere I am, if I want to read, I have a book with me and I can pull it right up and I can start reading, which I think is so great and a great way to get more reading in because you can squeeze in like 5 to 10 minute intervals here and there that otherwise you may have just been scrolling or mindlessly doing nothing, and now you can get some more reading in. So I feel like it's perfect. If you always have a book with you, it's always available for you to read. Number 4 is a way to make reading a little bit more fun, especially in the winter, and that is having a reading date in or a reading date out. This could work however you want it to work. If you want it to be a independent date, you could easily set yourself up into a cute little cozy corner of your house, like get a blanket going, get some candles going, get some music going, get all the good stuff going, get some snacks, get some tea, and have yourself a full like date night with your book. It's a great way to kind of get your brain focused in on the book and help you read more, especially if you make this like a weekly, a bi-weekly, a monthly thing. It'll definitely help you to read more because it's going to be something fun and relaxing that you can look forward to and a way to kind of treat yourself. And that's a great way to have a date night in with yourself. You can also do the same thing with a friend. So literally invite a friend over and you can read the same book or you can read different books, and you can have cozy blankets, you can have some yummy snacks, you can get some ambiance on the TV, and you can just sit together for a couple hours or all night, however long you want, and read your books together. And you can chat about them and you can pause, you can have some fun. And I feel like that's a great way to like spend time with someone that you love, but still get more reading in and make it a fun, cozy way to like hang out with your friends in the winter that's not out in the blistering cold. But if you do want to go out and have a book date night out, you easily can do this by going to a coffee shop, either again by yourself, get yourself a yummy drink, a yummy snack, sit there for a while and read, or meet some people there. And again, you don't have to be reading the same book. You could be reading a different book, and you could all just meet and sit similar tables close to each other, and you can all just have your little snacks and you can all read your books and just be calm and peaceful together, and you get to socialize but you also get to read at the same time. And I just think it's a great way to get more reading in, but also getting like that socialization factor in, or that self-care factor in if it's a personal date. Speaking of socializing, number 5 is either joining a book club, doing a tandem read, or asking someone you care about for recs. So I feel like this category in general should just be like, make reading social. Tip number 5, make reading social. What I mean by this is, like I said, join a book club. So then you have a reason to read a book every month or every couple months, however long the book club is. And then you have someone and some people to talk to about it. So that's a great way to get you to read more because you kind of had a deadline with it. So you have to get the book read by this time so you can meet up with your group of people and you can talk about it. That's a great way to encourage yourself to read more. Also, you could do a tandem read, which means you are going to read the same book as someone else at the same time. So you can find a friend, you can find a family member, you can find a stranger on the internet, and you can pick a book that you both want to read and you can read it together. So then you can chat about it and you can have fun with it and you can be like, hey, I'm on chapter 17. Are you there yet? And she'll be like, yeah. And you'll be like, oh my God, can you leave that? So you can make it a really fun event by like reading the same books at the same time and just making it a whole thing. And finally, if you don't really have the time or the energy or the want to join a full book club or to do a tandem read with someone at the same time, ask people that you like or care about for book recs. This can make it a really social thing because I often share book recs with my friends and my family, so then when we do get together or when we do chat and text a little bit, we have things that we can talk about that we have in common. So my sister will often recommend books to me, and my sister-in-law, my mom, honestly a lot of people will often recommend books to me, and then I'll pick them up and I'll read them, and then whenever we're together for whatever reason, we have a little side conversation about our books. So it's a great way to make it social. It's a great way to kind of encourage yourself to read more or maybe expand your reading type, but it's also a great way to honestly just encourage yourself to read more because you know someone else read the book and liked it. So if you know it had a good recommendation, you're more likely to read it, in my opinion. Like, you know someone else liked it, you know you have someone to talk to about it, so you're going to want to read it. And my final tip to help you read more in 2026, at least for the winter time, and I feel like this tip is kind of perfect for right now because it is January, and that is to set reading goals. Now, I know we all set so many goals and it gets also intimidating, so you don't have to make these goals anything crazy. You don't need to like read 100 pages, read 100 books a year, or read for 6 hours a day. Nothing crazy like that. It could literally be pick up my book every single day, read 50 pages a week, read for 2 minutes a day, read 3 times a week. Read these 2 books this month. Literally any kind of reading goal that works for you and works for what you want your more reading to look like, you can set. There's no like stipulations to what kind of goals you can set. They don't have to be extreme. They don't have to be outrageous. They can be literally what works for you and what feels right to you. And like I said, there's so many different ways you can set it. You can set a page goal, you can set a time goal, you can set a daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, a yearly goal. You can literally just pick out a couple books and want to read those books. You can set a goal to ask people for book recs. Like, there's so many different ways you can set goals around books, and if you set these goals and you make them something that you're motivated to do, you have to have a strong why behind it. You have to have a reasoning for why you want to read more and why you think this specific goal is good. So like, if it's read every single day, like pick up my book every single day, it might be because you want to build a reading habit. So your why is you want to build a reading habit in order to read more. Therefore, you're going to pick up a book every single day, and perhaps you're going to be like, if I do it every single day for a week, then I can buy a new book. You know, something like that. Give yourself a reward as well. Or it could be like, then I get to go get my favorite coffee and finish my book or something. Go sit in the park and read. Whatever it is, make it motivating, make it something that means something to you, and give yourself a reason to want to do it. But yeah, those are 6 ways you can read more in 2026 winter edition. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do another one of these come summer, so might be even more tips. So if you have any tips or any suggestions or any ways that you read more, leave them in the comments down below because I will be making another video. I would love to include a whole bunch of tips. Like, I'd like to gather as many tips as I can and have it be like a big list of ways you can read more. So leave those down below. Let me know if you're going to try out any of these tips, and if any of these tips have worked for you. I'm so curious. I hope you guys are having a fabulous January so far, and you're reading a lot of really good books. Thank you guys so much for being here. Live well, read some books, and go discover friends. See you next time. Bye.